Have you ever typed something into AI that you haven't told anyone? Not your closest friend, not even your partner, no one. And then in the middle of typing it, you realize that.
Oh, but what does it mean?
I've been sitting with that question. And what's most unsettling to me is not the AI part. But if the truest version of you is currently living in a chat window, what version is showing up everywhere else? And what's the cost? That's the question. It's not about AI. It's about a calculation you've been running for years without knowing. I call it the zero cost fallacy. And I do have my own version of the AI story, but that's too private to share here. Instead, I'll show you the zero cost fallacy with another example I found that cost me a job I loved. AI didn't teach me how to avoid the honest conversation. I already knew how. So when we think about using AI, your perceived risk is low enough that you type your deepest thoughts anyway. So you argue the long-term impact away. And I'm not here to judge, I do that too. But distant intellectually knowing and personal immediate feeling are two different things. And we both know what's the easier choice. I once had a job I loved and the best boss I'd ever had. But I wanted to develop further and I asked for a raise and a step forward. But so instead of having the honest conversation with him, I actually got another offer from somewhere else. It's the same principle. I looked for the consequence-free version. So when we think about the real person we could have the conversation with, we probably have thoughts like, they'll misunderstand, things might change, or they'll worry. They are personal, immediate, and they dominate the calculation the moment they arrive. I didn't talk to my boss. I thought, what if I asked him directly and he confirmed that I'm not as exceptional as I thought? This was loud for me. Your brain is very good at keeping you safe, but it's less good at keeping you honest. I was too busy protecting myself from the risk that I didn't even see the opportunity. That I might have stayed, that I might have heard, yes, you're worth it, and I'll prove it and fight for you. I'll never know that. I didn't have the honest conversation after I got the other offer. From a real person, you get a real answer, not a guess. The real person fully knows you. AI never can. Knowing the cost and feeling the cost are two different things, and your behavior runs on feeling. And there's another thing here. Those thoughts are predictions. They might not even be true. So the perceived risk is high, but the long-term impact might actually be low. When you think about AI, there's no real intimacy ever. That's the zero cost fallacy. Not the data, the perception, and the protection mechanism that's running underneath it all. The one that only ever shows you one side. I might have stayed, I might have had the power to convince him, but I'll never know that. That's the cost I never put on the grid. And I keep wondering what that does to society and at scale. When people lose the courage to be fully known and outsource that to a tool that can never truly know you back. But it starts with you. So I want you to think about the thing that you didn't say to anyone, but you typed into AI. And think about the thoughts that come to mind. You can actually write them down and place them on this grid. The risks and fears will probably come automatic to you. But I also want you to search for the opportunities that you haven't thought about. Write those down as well, so you get the full picture and you can actually make a decision. The person this belongs to is still there. Nothing is even wrong. The resistance you feel is not about them. It's about whether you're willing to find out what happens when you say the true thing to one person that matters to you. Someone who could change how they see you. And might not. You already have the courage. You typed the true thing once. You just typed it somewhere consequence-free. That's not a warning. That's the real conversation. You tell AI first. The question is, what happens after that? If this is how you think, if you're tired of flattening what's actually complex, this is the channel. Come back next Friday.